There is a quiet courage
in the choice to let go of the past,
in the choice to be present in this new day,
to live for this hour, this moment,
and to believe in its possibility,
to release the regrets,
to stop the spinning stories of what was and is no longer,
to accept this gift, to believe that we are worthy still of happiness,
of ease,
of delight and hope,
to believe we have all we need to heal already,
to receive this wholeness
with ready hearts
and open hands,
saying only thank you.
Come, let us practice this surrender together.
gathering up all the brave boldness
we know can be found in our blood and bones.
if we will breathe together,
knowing ourselves a part of this one life,
filled with mystery, creativity,
and power.
Changing us, growing us.
And calling us into partnership with all that is.
Come, let us worship together.
May this single flame we now kindle remind us that we are one, and the struggles and wounds of each of us impact us all. We grow together, we fail together. We move forward on the path only by walking side by side. By giving ourselves to the greater whole, we find ourselves again. May this morning help us take another step along our way.
good morning. Thank you all for being here. We're really excited about this service. So, as president of your Board of Trustees, I wanted to explain a little bit of how we all got here. The values, mission, and end statements, also known as 2 to 5 year goals, need to be living products of the congregation. Without being able to breathe new life into what we value and how we translate those values into action, we surely lose our spark, our connection to ourselves and to our larger world. We become fossilized. Your Board of Trustees is here today because of you, through your responses to the Long Range Planning Committee cottage meetings, you breathed new life into our vision of what we can become. The Long Range Planning Committee took seriously those 1,119 ideas you shared with us. During a weekend retreat to discover the values, mission, and ends that truly reflect who we are now and who we want to become more fully, the Board of Trustees brought your thoughts and hopes through an intense process of discernment led by Laura Park, a policy governance consultant from Unity Church. Our new mission statement is based on the vision you gave us. This mission is exciting and truly affirming of our reason for being here in this community, but it also challenges us. I trust we will be up to the task.
So we're going to take some time now to introduce you to the new values, mission, and ends that our board has created out of your dreams for this congregation. And we're going to start with the values. And can we get them up on the screen? I'm going to invite you to read them aloud with me. Wonder, authentic connection, courageous community, love in action. So these values are the grounding on which everything we do sits, the spirit that infuses our congregation. The board chose wonder for its dual meaning. There is wonder in the thoughtful questioning, curiosity, and investigation. And there is the awe and wonder we feel in nature, in relationship to one another, and in thinking about the vastness of our universe. Authentic connection is a way of engaging that takes us deeper than the surface interaction that we may have in other communities of which we are a part. We seek to be real with one another, to engage with honesty and vulnerability. Courageous community calls us to engage with one another and out in our world with courage. We are courageous in how we are together, and being together gives us courage to do bold work in the world. And love in action speaks to both the spirit of love in our congregation and the fact that it is not a passive love. Instead, the love we embody is just that. It is embodied in the way we live with each other and the way we spread that love out into the world.
Our new mission statement. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you really ready? Yeah. Do you really want to see it? Yeah. Vanna, take it away. Do you love it? Is that the best mission statement? No. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong direction in time. To those of you listening online, I'm pointing to a sign that says, "Our faith, the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, leadership of Jesus, salvation by character, the progress of mankind, onward and upward forever." Just so you know where we're coming from, where we have come from, this used to be prominently displayed in the front of the sanctuary where the screen now is, approximately 100 years ago. I have Bob Sampson to authenticate that. It represented back then the very real, very living vision of what the congregation was then. Not so much now, huh? When you look at this, you can see how we are a church that is dynamic, evolving to meet the greater complexity of the challenges we face in our sometimes broken world. After listening closely to you, this is what your board heard you say we are, what we want to become even more fully. We are a welcoming congregation of faith, inspiring lives of wonder, generosity, and courage, serving the world through love and action. Let's say that together. We are a welcoming community of faith, inspiring lives of wonder, generosity, and courage, serving the world through love in action. This single sentence does so much to capture our aspirations for ourselves. It defines who we want to be, a welcoming community, one where we celebrate everybody who comes through our doors. It encourages us to live fully, lives of wonder, generosity, and courage, so that we can see each moment of our lives as an opportunity. And it challenges us to serve the world through love in action, to live our faith fully by confronting the oppressions, the injustices, and the inequalities that infuse our world. This mission will guide us through the dark night and beyond in the lives we hope to live and the lives that we hope to heal. Thank you.
Bridges in the sky, they are shining in the sun. They are stone and steel and wood and wire. They can change two things to one. They are languages and letters. They are poetry and awe. They are love and understanding, and they are better than a wall. They are fear. They are languages and letters. They are poetry and awe. They are love and understanding, and they are better than a wall. There are canyons, they're yawning in the night. They are rank and bitter anger, they are all devoid of light. They are fear and blind suspicion, they are apathy and pride. They are dark and so foreboding, and they are oh so very wide. They are fear and blind suspicion, they are apathy and pride. They are dark and so foreboding, and they are oh so very wide. So let us build a bridge of music, let us cross it with a song. Let us span another canyon, let us right another wrong. Oh, and if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. Oh, and if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. We will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way.
Hello, good morning.
We're going to be talking to you about the ends that we have written. And so the very first part of the ends talks about brave space. We create a brave space for all ages. But why? You hear all this talk about safe space, a safe place to be, safe choices being made. And while being safe is important, it is not authentic in the world that we live in today. We must recognize that for some, safe isn't a choice, solely because of who they are, how they came to be, or what they believe. We are here to create a brave space. Together, we must be brave enough to be vulnerable, be brave enough to ask for help, brave enough to ask questions to those we don't understand, and recognize that regardless of age, background, or grouping, we are able to learn something from someone. We are here to create a space that we are brave enough to grow in, to change in, to welcome those different than us in. We are here to create a space, a brave space, that allows us to stand up for what's right and to educate ourselves on what we have done wrong. We create a space where we can admit those mistakes and learn from them. We create this brave space together as a community of faith.
So our first end, and I invite you to read it with me, it's up on the screen. To know our authentic Unitarian Universalist faith identity, teach it to our children, share it with others, and live it in the world. We are a people of intellectual freedom. We are a welcoming congregation of diverse beliefs and backgrounds. We learn about the world's religions, about humanism, and make them part of our worship and faith. But are we Unitarian Universalists? What does it mean to be a Unitarian Universalist? And is there a difference between religious freedom and Unitarian Universalism? Whoa. If being a Unitarian Universalist were against the law, would there be enough evidence to find us guilty? Whoa. So this end statement is about rediscovering our Unitarian Universalist identity. To me, being a UU means searching for your own religious principles and living them. Being a UU means a free and responsible search for your own religious principles and living them. It is a lifelong search. It is a difficult search. But being a UU means living your religious principles not only within these walls, but beyond them, within our homes, within our places of work, within our community. It should be a visible, palpable identity. Will you join me in finding out who we are as Unitarian Universalists? Will you help me teach this identity to our children? And will you share it with others and live it in this world? Let's get started.
Our second end statement is about wonder. Develop meaningful spiritual practices that connect us to wonder. At the service on the experience of the holy back in January, several dozen participants identified wonder as a core value in their written reflections. We feel wonder and experience a sense of the holy when we commune with nature, marry the love of our life, hold our child for the first time, attend the Women's March. When board members discussed how to create an end that promotes meaningful spiritual practices in our faith, we all felt that wonder should play a central role. Wonder has two interconnected meanings that are important to our spiritual practices. First, wonder evokes a sense of awe and transcendence in being a part of something greater than ourselves. It's the sacred mystery of how we are all connected, even when we're apart. It's our need to be pulled away from our daily concerns, to embrace the magnificence of nature and the infinite. Wonder also speaks to our lifelong search for meaning and truth through the pursuit of free inquiry about the world and through our unique journeys of discovery. Exploring our connections to other faith traditions also offers meaningful and spiritual practice that's tied to wonder. Wonder is a way of being in the presence as we learn to open up to places within and beyond us. As Albert Einstein wrote, the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science.
Ask for and receive care, support, and connection in times of struggle, joy, and transition. I know firsthand that the people in this room are often the first people to offer care, to offer support, to offer connection. We are always looking to help. But that's not what this statement is about. It's not about giving help. It's telling us to ask for help and to accept the help that we need. I would argue that many of us are not so great at asking for help. I know I'm not. This statement calls us into a responsibility to reach out to each other, to let people in to your life, to admit that you don't have your life perfectly together all of the time. None of us do. So we need each other. I wonder what a community looks like where we are not too proud to ask for help, where needing support is not internally viewed as a sign of weakness. We can build a better community if we accept the support and connection that each of us is so desperately longing for. I'm excited for each of our new end statements, but particularly this one. Ask for and receive care, support, and connection in times of struggle, joy, and transition. That speaks to me. Does it speak to you too?
If you'd read this with me, I appreciate it. Grow leaders who serve the needs of our congregation and our community with faith, resilience, and courage. To me, this is a core question of who we are. and what our purpose is as a community. Are we a debating society, or are we making a real difference in the world and in the lives of our neighbors? Our church, our community, and our world need leaders who share our principles, our values, and our mission. Whether it be leading a faith formation class, leading a team at the church, helping a charity, or as an elected official, we make the world a better place when we bring our best selves to the job by putting our words into action, leading by example, and living our values. I envision people filled with a passion to make our world a better place by taking what we learn here into the world. We have a wonderful start in our community with our members who lead or help such organizations as Harbor Homes, the National Soup Kitchen and Shelter, Ending 68 Hours of Hunger. These are real programs that have a real impact on our community. It can mean taking a chance at failure and moving away from our comfort zones. But it can also be pretty terrific when it comes together and we can see tangible results. From the smallest task to the grandest vision, nothing gets done unless there are people willing to step up and lead the effort.
So our next end statement is about stewardship. Steward our congregational community with our time, talent, and money. We embrace the concept of stewardship rather than just using the term pledging. It's so much more. The word stewardship comes from the Greek word oikonomos, which means being responsible for the affairs of your home. It's also the root of the English word economics, which means making the most and the best use of your resources. For us, this church is our shared spiritual home. I think of 4 principles that help define stewardship. The first is ownership. This is our shared home. We need to take care of it. Not only these old buildings, but also our ability to serve our community. The second is responsibility. It's up to us to do this. We all contribute our time, our money, and our talents. The third being accountability. We are stewards of the church's resources. This also includes the potential that our church offers, and we should be making the most of it. You know, UU Nashua was founded in 1826. Soon we'll be celebrating our 200th anniversary. It's up to us to allow our church to live on and serve for many years to come. And the last portion, or the last principle of this, is reward, enabling and empowering our church to accomplish our mission. This is why most of us are here, living our values and fulfilling our shared mission. Ownership, responsibility, accountability, and reward mean solid stewardship for our church.
I would like you to please read this with me.
Participate actively in our larger Unitarian Universalist community.
It felt right to have you do that with me. Our community is a unique group. We gather together with differing ideas, but we share a common faith. Our community pushes us to be louder than our neighbors who may preach hate. The UU community outside these walls is extraordinary. It is important that our voices are heard. General Assembly alone gathers us all of us together to make sure that we are living to our 5th principle, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in the society at large. The UU community allows us to have a voice. Together, we are able to make a difference. It is important that we are active members in this community because we are believers of peace, justice, and love. This faith calls upon that belief and puts it to action. They invite all of us. Together, we will be a part of this community that can change the world.
So let's read this one together and then I'll speak about it.
Understand systems of oppression and privilege and work to dismantle them within ourselves, our congregation, our community,
and the larger world. I am moved by the efforts this church has made in the last 2 years to recognize and publicly acknowledge the pervasive cultural and institutional prejudice that exists in our society, in our history as a denomination, and within ourselves. Our Black Lives Matter initiative and the monthly conversations organized by our Racial Justice Working Group have begun to help many of us understand and come to terms with the extent of societal privilege that we hold, privilege that we incorrectly think of as normal and ubiquitous. This emerging recognition of privilege is crucial, but it's only a first step. This church commits that we will understand these systems of oppression and privilege, that we will work to dismantle them within ourselves, our congregation, our community, and the larger world. In my view, this end statement sets the bar higher than any other. It says that we will not only acknowledge our privilege and the disadvantages that our society imposes on those without it. It says that we will also take action in love to dismantle the oppression experienced by people on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, religion, nationality, immigrant status, and physical ability. May we all do our part to realize this highly aspirational goal.
Before I introduce our last end statement, I'd like to shake things up a bit. I'm going to suggest that the opening words of our evolving covenant of right relationships, that we are a unique community, are not true. I would even go so far as to say that we don't want them to be true. Certainly, we don't claim or aspire to be a lone, isolated island of wonder, authentic connection, and love in action. There are many other organizations beyond this church that are guided by a similar compass. Our final end statement challenges us to, and please read this with me, work in deep partnership to advance justice and heal our community and our world. Partner with whom, you ask? We've deliberately been nonspecific. There are many faith communities within and beyond our own denomination, many social justice nonprofits, community support organizations, grassroots activist groups, and even other choirs that have values and missions that are aligned with our own. We're already working with many of these now. It is my hope that we will all put increased energy into building new bridges and tearing down old walls through deep partnership so that we can see our values kindled in those beyond our walls, and in doing so, advance justice and heal our community and our world.
These words that you've heard here today that are printed on this insert so you can take them with you and put them on your refrigerator. These are words that speak to who we are, but also to who we are becoming together. May we together put these words into action. In that spirit, I invite us to rise, embody our spirit for our closing hymn, and this is a new one, but I believe the choir has sung it once, hopefully. But it's easy to pick up on, and it's beautiful. So please rise, embody your spirit, and join me. There's an insert. We have shared a radiant hour when the truth has made us free, and the Spirit's gracious power dreamed of good that yet shall be. Bright the path before us lies. Joyful pilgrims now we rise. Life calls us on. Life calls us on. Go in peace. Go in love.